Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's Carl here on the Monkey Caviar Podcast Network. I totally blew that because I didn't do my joke.
I think you'll be forgiven for that one.
I will. Easy Street, ladies and gentlemen. We bring it to you live.
That's a song I don't think anybody's ever heard of before, and no one will ever forget now.
I was gonna do our lead in as breaking out of the good champagne. We're riding on the gravy train. We're headed for Easy Street. Welcome to Where's Carl, where we talk to Walking Dead. With me, as always, Adam Levy. Adam, how are you tonight?
I am doing great, and I'll be doing better tomorrow.
Why? What's tomorrow?
Once this election's all over, we can get back to normal living, and boom,
I'm so sick of it.
Yeah, I'm so.
Do me a favor though, and vote, everybody. Go, don't be stupid. Go out and vote. Don't let dumb things happen to our country.
Yes. Yeah, so, I mean, I honestly, I've never been more excited for an election to be over than I am for this one.
Well, I have trivia tomorrow night, and I'm going to do like election night trivia, so it's going to be like presidents and whatnot, and a bunch of weirdo stuff.
That works.
I'm doing like 10 songs that dish on politicians is going to be my audio round.
Nice. That should be fun.
It should be a lot to take in. Oh, where'd my thing go?
I don't know.
See, I'm having technical issues already.
It's because you were talking some smack about it earlier.
I did.
It doesn't want to be a Bieber appreciator.
I know. All right. Well, it would be a Katy Perry appreciator. Let's be real.
At least she's cute.
Katy Perry appreciator before a Bieber.
There you go.
I turned it off again. What the hell? Yeah. So, all right, let's skip that. I don't need it. You know who I am. Let's get to talking about The Cell. This was an interesting episode, all taking place in the Sanctuary, and I gotta say, I'm a fan. I love the Sanctuary. They got Who's the Fucking Boss on TV.
The opening montage was the longest sandwich making scene I have ever seen in my life.
The Jam, a town called Malice, rocking as he's going around collecting his sandwich goodies. And I got to tell you, every single Walking Dead party from here on out is going to feature that fucking sandwich now.
Seriously, Subway needs to take a lesson from this.
They showed you exactly how to make it, so I'm sure every Walking Dead party will have that and a dog food sandwich with some kind of Alpo variety that you've chosen for your friends. I would choose the country gravy for my pals.
Yeah,
because I think they deserve the extra moisture.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the stuff that Daryl was getting looked really, really dry.
Yeah, it could have been worse though. He wasn't getting kibble.
No, that's true. That would have been bad.
I mean, he was getting canned dog food. You can sustain off of that. There was a whole episode of The Jeffersons about that. So I'm worried about it. No, if it's good enough for George and Wheezy, it's good enough for Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl's eating a dog. So dog food.
Yeah, I'm sure, honestly, they've probably eaten worse out in the wild. So,
and at least they're not feeding him pig.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're saving the pig for the people that are earning points right now.
Delicious looking fried egg sandwich, though. I got to say that.
Yeah, I mean, for as far as post-apocalyptic eats go, that's a pretty tasty little meal.
That was a tasty looking sandwich. I was like, I wrote Dwight steals what he needs to build a beautiful sandwich. Yeah, that's great. And so he does it. There's a few things that happen in this pre-opening. We see Negan walks by and he kneels.
Yeah, everybody kneels before Negan.
All right, and then there's two guys, F, who are they're like zombie wranglers, walker wranglers, who wrangle the walkers and put them around the wall and make them part of their defenses.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of curious what they're doing. You get the zombie with the bucket on his head. I mean, I'm not sure what that's all about.
Well, that's so it can't bite him.
I mean, if you keep your distance, I mean, they were running around all the other ones that were out there.
But they're trying to chain them up and put them on spikes so they're in a defensive position so that anybody attacking would get bit by them. So, of course, they have to be careful in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm all about F and S. Now Daryl has an A on his sweats, because he gets some stylish sweats.
Yeah.
But did you notice it was a golden A?
I did not. I thought it looked more like it looked a little more
gold.
Orange, but that might have just been my TV.
Gold, same in a post-apocalyptic world. What if their letters dictate how many days they lasted? Z person lasted 1 day of torture, and they broke.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
There's the F, there's an S, and then Daryl's got the big A because he's just held out for 26 days maybe. We don't know.
Or maybe somebody was a big Scarlet Letter fan.
Or maybe, yeah, it's just a big Nathaniel Hawthorne. Yeah. And I hope I'm not wrong on that, because I'm gonna look like an idiot.
No, it's Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Chat room going. Hi, girls in the chat room. We have two girls in the chat room. She said it says A is for Alpo. That's what's on his. So yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I hope so. I love the A on the shirt. Yeah. So they kick open the door and we get to see Daryl, and he's a little bit naked. And I'm sure some of the ladies in the Walking Dead community have waited to see Daryl naked. I don't think this is what they had in mind.
No,
I don't think laying on a floor covered in vomit and dog food sandwiches was how they pictured him. But hey, there he is. And he looks good, looks strong.
Yeah.
And that was the episode cold open. That was the whole thing, was a town called Malice, and thank God for the jam.
Yeah, I mean, as far as openings go, I enjoyed this one. It was just it was kind of fun.
It was really nice. It was kind of sweet, and I wondered where it was going. But the sandwich build was incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
so, kudos for pulling that little bit off. That was pretty good.
Honestly, watching that opening made me hungry.
Right, a little bit. I got peckish. I was eating cake, so whatever. But because I'm a fat guy, fat guys eat cake.
Nothing wrong with cake. Cake's good.
Cake. So we come back to Easy Street for the first time. The beautiful song. Did you know who does that song? It was the Collapsible Hearts.
Yeah, I believe that's who it is.
I think that's the name of them.
Yeah.
I don't know where this song came from. Apparently, it was not available on iTunes until today.
I mean, maybe it was
only because of demand.
I don't know I don't know when the song came out. I mean, who knows? Maybe they wrote it for this torture scene.
No idea. But what an annoying little ditty. It's 1 minute and 29 seconds long. And if it was on a loop, how long do you think it would take you to crack?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, after a long enough time, I'd probably have the lyrics memorized and just start singing along to it. While I slowly went insane.
Holy, that song would drive you crazy.
Yeah.
During our pre-show, we were talking about what songs would drive us the craziest. And for those of you in the chat room, play along because we want to hear yours too. What song would drive you the craziest in the shortest amount of time? I think I chose wisely. I said, "This Is How You Remind Me" by Nickelback.
Yeah, I could see that one probably driving a lot of people insane.
Like 8 minutes, and I would be like, "Just get me out! Just get me out! I will do whatever you want. I am Negan. You
are exactly. Negan. I am Negan.
Who am I? I am Negan. Let me out." Oh, sorry, I'm screaming, and my girlfriend's trying to sleep.
I mean, honestly, though, Easy Street would probably get most people to crack. I can't see a lot of people being able to take that for very long periods of time. But Daryl is a badass for being able to put up with that.
Tammy Parker says "Wannabe" by the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I tell you what I want. What I really, really want is for you to turn this song on.
I think for me, probably like "Bad Romance" by Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That would
Poker Face would do it because
pretty much anything by Lady Gaga.
Tie-in. There's a Parks and Rec tie-in with Poker Face, and I cannot now hear the song without thinking of Leslie Knope. So it would drive me crazy on
I'm
different
trying to
levels.
remember what that tie-in was because I watched Parks and Rec.
She's at the gay club and she's a queen of the gays.
Oh,
And
that's right.
so the next day she's sitting there and she's like, my poker face, my poker face, my poker face, my and she just keeps singing, and Kristen does it all the time, and it kills me. All right,
The map
Stevie
song
says,
from Dora the Explorer. Yeah.
Stevie says the map song from Dora the Explorer. Yeah,
You know,
that's a
honestly,
really
like
good
any
one.
of those kids' songs, Dora the Explorer, the Wiggles, that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure parents
Or the
hate that.
country song by the Animaniacs. I could do that
Well,
one for a
that's
while.
fine. Well, I don't know if that would be. I'm not really sure that's for kids. I mean, that's it was a cartoon for kids, man, but that show was really for adults too.
Yeah, there's a lot for adults. God bless the Animaniacs.
God, there was another song I was thinking
Oh,
of.
that's a great line. Tammy in the chat room said she would be Negan's hairy left nut if they didn't play that song. So,
There was another song I was thinking of that, but
Going to the Chapel by the Dixie Cups. It's a much older song, but
Yeah.
that would do it. That would drive me nuts. There's so many like kids. Anything like a Kid Bop version of anything I love.
You know, oh no, that
Like
that fucking song from
like
Frozen, Let It Go.
Oh yeah, like
that
would
would get me to crack real quick. 2 or 3 times and I'd be done.
A friend of mine asked me to DJ a kid's a thing at her preschool. And she said, you got to get all this Kid Bop stuff and play it. And one, I was the worst kids DJ in the world because I hate kids. I hate the little bastards. And two, she was great and she gave me the best direction she could, but it was kind of scattered and run about. And the person that did it before me was great with kids. Yeah. And I was like, well, yeah, you guys hired the wrong fucking guy. It's 10 a.m. I just want to go back to bed. I smoked a doobie in the car. I mean, I listened to a Kid Bop version of Social Distortion.
Steffi, just so you know, I mentioned Chumbawamba before the show started. That would definitely be one of those things. But every time I hear that song, it makes me think of there's that one TV show, Undeclared, I think it was.
Undeclared was great. I love
where
that show.
Her and the roommate are having that war, they keep playing songs they each other hate until they finally realize they both love tub thumping.
See, we're also talking about I would walk 500 miles and that was stuck in Marshall's car on How I Met Your Mother. They're like, it comes back around. And a lot of these songs would come around. I could sing them for a while.
Then you hate them for a bit.
2 days.
Yeah.
2 days of Easy Street and I would have cracked.
And the thing is, we don't know how long Daryl's been listening to Easy Street for.
All right, but if we go with the letter theory, that's 26 days plus.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Of Easy Street.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, and
go by the letter theory.
And when it comes to psychological torture, I mean, they're doing a great job of trying to break him down. Every time he tries to sleep, that kicks on. Every time they're bringing him food, it kicks on. I mean, that's how you just break somebody down. That's Guantanamo Bay level of torture.
That's big time torture. I dare say it's a Ramsey Bolton level of torture.
Yeah, I mean, it's one step away from flaying.
Right, Ramsey Bolton didn't have the joy that is audio music. Well,
he could have had a live band playing.
Yeah, okay, could have, because bagpipes outside your door 24/7 would drive you nuts. I gotta admit, but Negan is right up there with the Ramsey Boltons of the world. So kudos for the way they're making him out to be.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Dean Morgan just continues to do an amazing job.
Yeah, you can tell he's having fun with the role.
He's having a ball, and apparently he's loving all the hate that he's getting on the. So, do you see the Talking Dead? He was talking about it.
I didn't.
Yeah, he's on the Talking Dead, and he's like, I knew I was going to get some, some hate. It's okay. I was ready for it. But Norman and I were in a restaurant, or we rode our bikes to get coffee or something, and some 70-year-old grandma walks up and goes, "Oh, Norman, I love you. You?"
Yeah, I mean,
he's definitely wearing Negan very well.
Yeah, you can tell that you've made it, that you're doing a good job when people are sending you death threats via Twitter and just all kinds of hate your way.
Yeah, and I mean, Norman Reedus is still getting it for Glenn, and people blaming him, but we'll get over it and we'll move on.
Yeah.
So we take Daryl into the doctor to check him out, and Sherry's in there with her pregnancy stick. Negatory, good buddy. Woohoo! No babies in the fall. This is a confusing moment for me because Dwight says to her, "Well, maybe next time."
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get pregnant with Negan's baby?
I don't know. I mean, bringing a child into this world doesn't seem to be the best thing. But if you're still trying to, if you're gonna try and keep civilization going, you're gonna need to
understand the need for that. But if we're talking about in season 6, episode 4, when they show up, Sherry and Dwight. This is before Dwight has a scar.
Yes.
Still a couple. They are on the run. This wasn't that long ago.
No.
So how is maybe next time means that they've tried already?
I mean,
so maybe Negan is trying to knock up as many of his little wives as possible.
That's probably a good idea. I mean, I've had to guess. I'd say, yeah, Negan is definitely looking to be a father multiple times over.
Yeah, I get that Dwight wants Negan happy, and that right now. Well, I don't think Dwight wants Negan happy. Dwight is playing like he wants Negan happy.
Yeah, Dwight.
I think Dwight wants to shiv Negan just as bad as everybody else does.
He does. I mean, he's playing the part only because it's keeping him fed and it's keeping him, with the roof over his head and some safety. But what you learn about Dwight and Negan towards the end of the episode, Dwight does not like Negan. Negan has done some bad things to Dwight.
Well, they go into it later in the episode, but basically what happens is Dwight runs away, and that doesn't work for Negan, so they hunt him down at great expense. They bring him back, and in order to save Dwight's life, Sherry says she will marry Negan.
Well, I mean, it's not so much that Dwight ran away. He ran away with a bunch of meds that Negan had
for her sister,
for
Sherry's sister,
for her hot ass sister, like as Negan describes her, and Dwight's hot ass wife. Yeah, but yeah, so they got him back, and Dwight was going to get killed, and so Sherry decides to marry Negan to save his life, but Dwight still has to pay a little bit, so he gets to meet the Iron. Which we've seen in opening credits.
Dwight is broken.
Yeah.
What Negan is doing to Daryl, he has done to Dwight.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure a lot of these people have been broken by Negan.
Yeah, he's really good at the breaking people, and it seems to be what this first little bit that we've seen with Negan in 2 episodes of this season so far, that's what he's doing, is he's breaking all of our faves.
Yeah.
Going down. Rick is already busted. He's so busted we haven't seen him for 2 episodes. Yeah, he's just crying in a corner somewhere. Daryl is now, and I officially say it at the very end of my 4 pages of notes, Daryl's broken. Daryl is broken. When all it takes is Roy Orbison, you are fucking broken.
Yeah.
I love Roy Orbison as much as anybody else, but Brian certainly ain't going to bust me. No. But all right, we'll get there. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Let's get to at least page 2. All right. So yeah.
And I think it was Sherry that talked about a little bit about how Negan kind of came into power, or was it Dwight? Basically said, a guy comes in with a baseball bat, and all of a sudden everyone starts following him.
I think it was Dwight.
Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was the guy on the street.
Oh, that's right. The guy that Dwight went to go find.
Yeah, that was that guy. I don't know his name. Tammy, I'm sure, will correct me in the chat room. She's really good with the names, and I hope she doesn't watch Game of Thrones because she will destroy us.
I'm pretty good with the names on Game of Thrones.
No, yeah, probably better than this, I guess. All right, so there was speculation that the letters on their clothes were where they were going to spell out Negan, but F and S and A doesn't work. So right now we got safest buck.
Fast, slow, and I don't know.
Yeah. So hopefully there's at least a T somewhere so we can get fast.
Maybe get fast, slow, and asshole.
Yeah, maybe. But right now, F, S, and A. And we met Fat Tony this time. I like Fat Tony. Oh, I'm sorry, Fat Joey, not Fat Tony. Fat Joey. So Negan's pretty happy with Dwight's work with Daryl, and he offers him a taste of sherry, and it's all you can eat day for Dwight at the Pussy Parlor, and woohoo! And Dwight turns it down.
I love that line. He said, "It's like, yeah, was it the all you can eat?"
It's happy hour at the Pussy Bar, and Dwight
eats for free. Yeah. I mean,
all right, the guy's a poet.
Yeah,
what
did you say?
There's a certain thing that you can have a way with slang and vulgarity that makes you poetic. A perfect example is Al Swearingen on Deadwood. Really poetic with his profanity.
Yeah.
So, I think Negan's right there in his. I mean, that's like quote of the day stuff. I want to put that up on the billboard at work.
I want that on the T-shirt.
Motivating your troops. Like, first place, you get a Cadillac. Second place, steak knives. Third place, you're fired. Right? Like, first place is it's happy hour at the Pussy Bar and you eat for free. This might be the best motivational tactic ever.
Yeah. But the fact that Dwight turns him down, and then Negan goes on to say, like, is it a problem with your penis? Just straight up.
I know you got bit there. Are you okay? Does it work? That's low. That's a low blow. And I'm not just saying low. It's a low blow.
Yeah, Negan's calling his manhood into question right now.
And he tells him it's fine. It works. In the chat room says, "Make a Where's Carl Happy Hour Pussy T-shirt." We should. Strictly Dickly. All right, I'm merging podcasts right now. I'm sorry. All right, where were we? Dwight eats for free. Yeah, so he turns him down because the job, he says, isn't done. I don't think that's what it is. I think he sees it as a test. Negan's going to test you right now and give you the one girl that he took from you. Even though you haven't quite finished the job, I think it was definitely a test. And Dwight passed flying colors because he's like, nah, I want to wait until the job's done.
Well, yeah, Negan said he could have any girl he wanted as long as she said yes. So, I mean, it's not like he had his pick of everybody. He still had to, find a willing, partner. Because if I remember correctly, one thing that Negan severely disliked in his group was rape. That was one thing he would not tolerate.
The comic expressly, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we're not going to talk a lot about what happens in the comic in this episode because none of this shit happens in the comic.
No. But I mean, you do see that even though, Negan has, that Dwight goes through and just basically steals all the stuff he wants, Negan still has rules for his people that are under him. There's things they can and can't do.
There's standard, there's law. I mean,
you gotta have some set of rules.
Right. And loose seals.
You can't have anarchy.
Right, correct. I agree. This would happen in a post-apocalyptic situation, I think. It's anarchy if you don't have rules. And, for a while, I'm sure it would be. But when groups started to form, that would happen. Power, of course, exists.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be in a vacuum. So somebody's going to step up and say, you can't do this.
Yeah. You saw it a bit with them. You saw it a bit in Alexandria, when the wife beating husband. There wasn't anybody to kind of put him in his place. Nothing to stop him until Rick showed up.
Well, remember that originally it was you kill, you die.
Yeah.
And you kill, you die went out the window really, really fast. That was like, yeah, that's a really bad idea. No. Kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, and then the kill, you die, I think that was more for like Rick's group. But when they got to Alexandria, they were kind of, living by the rules of Alexandria. And, there was no killing there until that guy's mess up led to, until, the husband died and all this
and
shit.
They changed them.
And then, yeah, you adapt to fit your needs.
So as they're having this conversation, Dwight or Negan gets a radio call that some guy has run off, and Dwight says he'll go get him. And he's like, make Fat Joey do it. He needs to lose weight anyway. Why do they always slam it on a fat dude? This is a fat dude who survived a zombie apocalypse. We all know rule 1 is cardio. And that guy don't have it, but he still survived. So give him some points.
He must have teamed up with somebody really early on and gotten lucky. I mean, maybe he's just a badass fighter. I mean, who knows? But yeah, the fact
we both read the chat at the same time.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to talk and then I see something pop up and like I'm half my mind's looking at that, half of me trying to talk. Yeah, I mean, but you always got to look at something. I mean, look at Lost. How long were those survivors on that island? And Hurley was the same size for years.
No, that's not true. Hurley got smaller a little bit, but what are you gonna do, man? He's a big dude.
He is.
I'm okay with fat people. I love fat people, so whatever. So I'm just proud there's still a fat dude around in the apocalypse. That made me happy.
Well, what's the guy with Ezekiel? Deuces. He's a little chubby.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry's portly, but Jerry's also in a very secure spot where he's he's got fruit time. He's got all kinds of things happening for Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you've got people with you, you can. I mean, anybody can survive. In this post-apocalyptic world, if you've got the right tools, or you've got the right people. Right. I mean, Joey may be badass with a gun, or he may know how to wield a machete really well, and even if he can't run away from the zombies, he can hack away.
He stands there with a gun on him. That's his job.
Yeah.
So Dwight says he'll go out and find the guy, and on the way he runs into a little problem in the highway.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like you remember the spirograph?
Yeah.
Right. It looked like a blood spirograph on the street.
I mean, it really looked like a zombie art exhibit.
Right. And I didn't understand what was going on at first. Because this is a weirdly cut section, but then they cut back to Daryl, who Fat Joey is giving him a sandwich.
Yeah.
And he leaves the door unlocked, and it's a trap. Admiral Akbar somewhere.
It's a trap.
But so then they go back out to the highway, and I have a couple of different names for this walker. So there's an overpass over poor Dwight and his damaged motorcycle. A car has plummeted off, and now walkers are just randomly falling off.
But here's the thing: how did Dwight mess up the motorcycle?
I'm sorry. I saw that and it just killed me. I really didn't see how the motorcycle went down.
Because I thought it was fine when he was walking it to the overpass.
Right, he stopped it. He wrestled the walker away from the guy. Right, or no, he wasn't there yet.
Yeah, no, but before he got to the overpass,
maybe it fell on his bike.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. When the first one fell and he dropped the bike and it fell between him and the bike, and then as he's wrestling that guy, you see another one fall, but it doesn't. I watched that one again and it didn't hit the bike, so I don't know what happened unless somewhere else along the way another one fell on the bike.
I don't know, but I got a few names for that walker that fell.
Greg Louganis.
The Death from Above walker I think that was what they called it on The Talking Dead.
Okay.
Which is good. I've started with I've fallen and I can't get up walker.
All right.
the Christopher Reeve Walker. Too soon. And my favorite was the Nadia.
The Nadia. I would have gone with Greg Louganis.
Louganis is good. I should have gone with a diver.
Or for the hockey fans out there, the Vancouver Canucks, because they're all divers. Yeah, I went there.
It's raining walkers. The life alert walker. That's good. I'm falling. I can't get up walker.
It's raining walkers. Yeah.
The R. Kelly walker. It's the I Believe I Can Fly walker.
No, see, when you say R. Kelly, I think of a walker trying to pee on some girl.
It could go either way. It's a walker peeing as it's flying over there. All right, so that walker splats. Another walker tries to kill him. He survives. Whatever.
Yeah.
Zombies are easy. People are difficult. Walkers are easy. So we go back to Daryl, and during his escape, Sherry just roaming the hallways stops him and is like, "Hey, man, you should go back to your room because it'll be way better for you.
Yeah.
Don't go through with this. It's a trap. It's a trap." Yeah. So right there, she Akbars.
She totally does.
She full Akbars, and he doesn't listen because he's Daryl.
He's Daryl. I mean, yeah, Daryl's
not Negan.
Daryl has never really listened to anybody. You know, Daryl's good at being in a group, but Daryl's ultimately going to do what Daryl wants to do.
He's a loner.
He is.
A loner.
He's a lone wolf.
And the ladies love him because he's dangerous. And all right, so stop that. So so during his escape, she tells him to go back. He doesn't listen. He breaks out, runs with the motorcycles. It's a trap. He's surrounded. And Negan comes out and says, "Aren't we pissing our pants yet?" This guy,
he is obsessed with people pissing their pants.
Unhealthy obsession with people peeing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, when you're as scary as this guy is, and I think pretty much everybody in the Saviors knows just how scary this guy can be. He's got a reputation, and I think he really likes making people piss themselves.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, the fear factor and all, but man, there's a lot of pee-pee talk. So apparently it all boils down to one question, and that question is, who are you? Now me, I would have said the Pinball Wizard because that's the answer.
I would have gone with woohoo, but just
right.
Yeah.
Tell me, who are you? Who the fuck are you? But the answer, of course, is Negan. Daryl refuses to say that, and he takes the beating of the week.
Well, he got one swing in because Daryl likes to get at least one punch in.
He gets the one bitch fist in.
Yeah,
and then he gets the crap beat out of him.
He gave it to Negan in the first episode. Negan got a taste of the fist,
and Glenn paid for it.
And then Glenn paid for it. Ooh. At least nobody's paying for it this time except for Daryl.
All right, so he does give him three options. He said you can work the spike out front. You can work for points, which is not a good way to go, apparently. Or you can live like a king. For Negan.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, I think, right here. Even if you don't believe it in your heart, you're like, I am Negan. Give me the apartment with the red door, because that thing looked pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice little setup they had in there waiting for him if he wanted it.
Yeah. So, it doesn't go down that way. He takes the beating, and then, all right. So right before Negan walks off, he has another talk about how Lucille isn't thirsty today, but Negan is. So take a beating.
Yeah.
The duality between the Lucille and Negan is dumb.
A little bit.
And it's just dumb and needs to go away. It's too over the top. I get he's trying to be a big character, but that's just a little dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that Lucille is its own character.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. In the way that I'm okay with any inanimate object being a part of a story. I mean, the Hatch was a character in Lost.
Yeah.
So it can have its place.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need its own, line of dialogue. There doesn't need to be I don't need to hear thought bubbles of Lucille. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, I hear you.
All right, so Dwight sees his target on the road. Sherry comes to Daryl's door and thanks him for coming back and giving her sister the drugs and then like killing her, which all happened in season 6. So the guy on the road posed an interesting problem for Dwight. Dwight's going to take him back to prove to Negan that he's a good soldier. And this guy's like, nah, shoot me in the head. Go ahead, kill me. Go ahead. Nah, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty shitty if you want to die instead of go back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he was one of the points. I'm guessing he was probably one of these points workers. And if that's the case, from what Negan said and how it's been described, yeah, that's got to be a pretty crappy way to live, in this little society here, that he would rather go out on his own where there's no security whatsoever. I mean, the guy looked like he had a knife, and that was about all he had. No food, no nothing with him. He was going to have to scrounge for everything at this point. And
he would already have trouble with one single walker.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't long for life on his own.
No.
And the fact that he would rather be out there than to go back to Negan's group, I mean, that says something. I mean, you got to realize that not everybody living with Negan is going to be all about that way of life,
Well, sure, not everybody's going to be happy.
No.
I mean, you can't please everybody.
No, and especially living in a world where in a group like that where you have to bow to this guy, you have to kneel before this guy every time he walks by. You live in fear of a hot iron to the face if you do something wrong. I mean,
okay, let me put it. All right, let's take a minute though. Let's say the zombie apocalypse breaks out and you find yourself in a group and they ask you to bow before the guy who's in charge. And you're like, oh, really? I got to bow to this guy? And he comes around the corner, and it's Gretzky.
Well, that's a whole different story. I mean, come on, he's the great one.
You got no problem, right? You're like, you either bow or you take a hockey stick to the head, and you're like, great one. Great one. What
if Gretzky's walking around with a barbed wire wrapped hockey stick, I will bow to that guy. I will kneel down before him.
That makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, though.
I'm not saying that, I mean, it's kind of weird to live, even in this society where where the humanity's all but wiped out. You've got pockets of civilization here and there that, this guy, he gets off on. I mean, we've seen Rick, who just wants, his people to survive. You've seen King Ezekiel, who's playing this role. And here Negan just wants to be feared. I mean,
Negan's more of a tyrant than a leader.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's
what this world needs. This world needs a leader.
Yeah,
and it needs a strong leader. And none of these guys are it because these guys are all playing a part.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen so many examples of leadership in this world, and none of them really seem to work out. Andrea or not, the chick who ran Alexandria, Deanna. Her method. They kept everybody sheltered. They had a few people that would go out on runs, but most people didn't understand the real threat of these zombies. And
that's fair, but she was the only character I think so far that was trying to put together a new society.
Yeah.
Rather than just playing a role as I'm the leader.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've seen a bunch of different types of leaders. Rick, who's just looking out for his people. That's all he cares about until he finally gets a bigger group of people with Alexandria. Yeah, Deanna was probably the most diplomatic leader, the one who was probably doing the best to try and reestablish society. Negan just wants to take what he thinks is his, which is pretty much everything, and he just wants to have a good time doing it.
I don't think that building society again like we have it now is the answer. We could definitely change a few things, but I don't know what kind of society would crop up. Of course, the tyranny and people wanting to be like kings would happen, of course, because people will follow people that are charismatic and they're strong and powerful and have protection.
Yeah.
If you can offer that, you're going to get followers. So it'll become a little culty, I think.
Yeah, I think over time.
That's kind of what it is, I guess.
Yeah, Steffi, I wouldn't want that job either. I think I'm more of a follower in this sense.
No, I don't know that I would want to be a leader. I'd want to be on the inner loop, though.
Yeah.
to be on like the King's Council. I'd like to be in the small council. That'd be nice. I could be Littlefinger. I'm fine with that. Yeah, and I think that's what they tried to do that at the prison with what they were going to do, the council that was going to take care of be the leader and not Rick.
Yeah.
And it can't work until you have X number of people in your society to, you can't be voting with 6 people. It's not going to work.
Yeah. You need people with different points of view. I mean, if you have 6 people that all think the same way, it's not really going to be, you're not going to get different ideas. You're not going to have a dissenting opinion. You need some kind of conflict to help move things along.
Right. Two people can get together, and like I said, 2 people can live as cheaply as 1.
Yeah.
So 2 people together is way better for you. Once you get a 3rd person, that's when shit starts getting weird.
Yeah.
So stick to duos and we'll all move on. Rather die in the road. That's where we are.
Yeah.
And Dwight won't shoot him, but then the guy just totally, says, no, I'm not going to go. And Dwight, much like Negan would, threatens all the people this guy cares about. And, I will put them on a horrible diet and I will kill them all and put them on a spike. And it really does to that guy what Negan does to everybody else. So it's a little bit of, I get to play this game this time and be the guy in charge.
Yeah, but it looked like he didn't like. I mean, Dwight looked like he didn't like having to play this role.
Dwight's conflicted.
Yeah, Dwight is. I mean, he was. I think it really all Dwight wanted to do at this point was just to complete his job and bring this guy back. That was all he wanted. He was going to do whatever he had to say, whatever he had to do to get this guy to start walking back to Sanctuary.
So he shoots him. That'll do it.
Yeah,
and then it cuts back to Sanctuary and Sherry and Dwight in the hallway, and apparently that whole conversation is about, well, this sucks, but it's a hell of a lot better than being dead.
Yeah. I mean,
and so
there's a lot of things that are better, they're worse than being dead, but I mean, all things considered, if you have a safe place to sleep at night and some food during the day, you can probably put up with a lot of shit.
I don't know. I couldn't take this guy took his wife. I mean, she offered herself, but still.
Yeah.
If my girlfriend offered herself to some other guy for my safety, I would die trying to kill that guy.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's.
I mean, I don't
want to say it's just me.
I'm waiting for Negan. I'm waiting for Negan to just say it's good to be the king.
Yeah, right.
Full on Mel Brooks.
Piss boy. So speaking of really pissy things to do, what a segue. So Dwight goes to Daryl and he's like, look, man, just relax and go with it and it'll all be over. And in case you don't believe me, well, here's a picture of Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah, see, it
throws on a little Roy Orbison, and Daryl Dixon is broken.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Daryl is done.
Yeah, that was I couldn't quite tell what the picture was at first until later on when
chat room says Sherry yelled tribute. That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that somebody had a working Polaroid at this point and able to take a nice picture of Glenn,
Glenn's smashed head.
So
I gotta say, if this isn't the Emmy reel for Norman Reedus, nothing is. Because what a great episode for him. Amazing work.
And considering he only had a couple lines in this episode,
he said like 6 words, and he just complete amazing performance from Reedus. So, my God. So finally, it's time for a chat with the boss, and he tells the story of how Dwight used to work for points, and those meds cost a lot of points. The meds to keep the wife's sister Tina alive.
Yeah.
And so it didn't work out. So he run off, and that didn't sit well with Negan. So Dwight came back and begged for forgiveness, and that wasn't going to work. So the wife, Sherry, offered herself in marriage to Negan because the sister Tina, who was going to marry Negan, was dead. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
Like I barely even remember the sister.
So, and Sherry is super hot.
Yeah, she is.
As Negan says several times.
His hot ass wife. Yeah.
But that wasn't enough to satisfy Negan, so Dwight had to get the iron as well. And for those of you not paying attention, when Jeffrey Dean Morgan's name comes up in the credits, there's an iron in the background. You can look for it.
Yeah, and I looked for this one because you mentioned it before, and I completely, because I usually fast forward through the credits, but
that was from Elvis. That wasn't me. That was Elvis found that and showed me.
Yeah, but I think you mentioned it in the last episode. But yeah, so I actually watched through the credits to see the iron, and yeah, it was there. And that kind of put a smile on my face.
Yeah. So Tammy in the chat room says, I don't know how the hell Daryl could see the picture either with all them damn greasy bangs in his face and his squinted puppy eyes. All right. Well, to be fair, he's got squinted puppy eyes all the fucking time. That's just Norman.
Yeah.
That dude looks like he is constantly hungover.
And honestly, and that cell he's in has very little light. So, taping that picture to the wall where there's no light when the door's closed, not going to have the same effect as if you like just put a light on the picture and just like, look at this.
Or, run it on a film loop like a GIF, just over and over. Crack. Crack. Oh, my eye. Oh, my eye. Sorry, too soon? All right, so after all this, Negan says, it all comes down to this. Who are you, sir? And Daryl, being Daryl, goes, fucking Daryl.
Yeah.
Well, he made his choice. It's not a good choice. He gets thrown back in the cell. And we go out, and Dwight walks out, enjoying another sandwich, and sees the guy brought back with a gunshot in his back is now part of the fence crew.
Yeah.
So he brought him back to prove to Negan that he found the guy, did what he was supposed to do, brought him back, and then, like all Negan's, enemies, he gets to ride the pole.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like, how far away was this guy when Dwight shot him? Because if he had to drag a zombie back miles, that would have sucked.
Right.
I mean,
right? He didn't have anything with him and a broken bike.
Yeah. Well, he didn't even have the bike at this point. When they were walking, it was just him and Dwight. Dwight had just left the bike behind at this point.
Yeah. So who knows how long? Did you see have you seen the next week on?
Yeah.
Where the shadow comes to the gate. Oh my God. If that's
not
my
little pig, let me in.
If that is not my new wallpaper, it damn well should be.
Yeah.
Speaking of art, I didn't bring up art, but there is a picture on Talking Dead behind Hardwick of Negan in silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I think so. Yeah.
It was up in the first episode too, but it's just a silhouette of Negan with the bat, and he's got Lucille out in front of him, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just got a red chain link back. It's a bitchin' painting. Whoever did that, I want to give you kudos and shout outs. Whoever on the Talking Dead crew who decided to lay the tiger suit out like a bearskin rug this week, that was phenomenal. Talking Dead was really fun this week. They had Sherry on.
Okay.
Christina Evangelista.
All right.
And he's
Scott Aukerman. I know Scott Aukerman was the other guest.
Aukerman, yeah. But yeah, it was. Let's face it, a boring episode because it kind of was.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this episode and last episode where there wasn't a lot of action, but a lot of stuff happened. But out of these two episodes, I liked last episode's better. Getting to meet Ezekiel and just letting Carol be, just have some fun. was entertaining. I mean, this was, in the same kind of vein as last episode, this was more on the depressing side, just watching one of the characters that we love systematically broken down. It's kind of depressing to watch something like that.
Yeah, it is. And what I think we were lacking in this episode, what we had in last week's, was there was a little bit of Walker action. We got a couple of scenes of the Savior, or the Knights of the Kingdom, kicking some Walker ass.
Yeah.
And in this episode, we got like 3 total Walker kills, and that was it. No humans. It was a very low body count episode.
Yeah.
And of course you need that. We're all still coming down from episode 1.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I liked last week's episode so much, because it provided that levity after such a harsh episode. You needed that. You needed to kind of bring the people back up a little bit to get them, I wouldn't say excited, but to bring a little lightheartedness back to the show. Because I mean, Ezekiel, I loved King Ezekiel. He's hilarious, and watching Carol's reactions early on when meeting him was priceless. But ultimately the show is dark and grim and gritty, and then all the episodes aren't ever going to be like that. So this was a kind of a good episode to bring things back, back down to the level where we're used to with this show. And from what we see from next week, next week looks like it's going to be pretty damn depressing again. Rick
looks like Negan's showing back over up at Alexandria.
Yeah.
It's time for them to give up half their shit.
Yeah. It's their first shipment. So which means this would have been about a week. I think we're going to see it. There's about a week or so.
Right. We'll be back in a week. So yeah, if that was a week, then Daryl was only in there for 7 days.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fit with my alphabet theory. So that throws that off. So way to shoot it down. Thanks.
Sorry. Wasn't my plan. I wasn't intending to.
Blew a hole in my theory, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So from all signs here, it points to a Dwight, Daryl, and Sherry getting together to escape and or lead the rebellion against Negan. Yes, do you agree?
Well, I know Dwight's going to be part of it for sure. From what I know from the books, Dwight is definitely
because we can speculate wildly because Daryl's involved. So
yeah, this does throw a monkey wrench into this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, Dwight is going to have a big part to play going forward. Like I said, you can tell that Dwight's doing what he has to stay alive, to stay in Negan's good graces. But as soon as he gets a chance, he's going to try and screw Negan over.
Dory. They have a couple name. Dory.
Yeah, Dwight is, when the opportunity presents itself, Dwight would have no problem putting a knife in Negan's back. So
yeah. I agree with that. I think I haven't read too far ahead in the comic, but I know a little bit. So I know Dwight's part of it, and I don't think they're going to spend full episodes here at the very beginning of the season, 2 episodes in a row, introducing us to a bunch of new characters. Yeah. So I think these characters are going to be with us a while, at least through season's end.
Yeah, I mean,
I should expect
the fact that Dwight, we've seen Dwight and Sherry, a few times last season. They could, if these characters weren't important, they could have had nobodies in this role. But the fact that they gave us Dwight and Sherry, pre-scar Dwight, post-scar Dwight, the fact that we've seen this
actor, right.
Yeah, obviously this character is going to have some significance in the future of this storyline.
I think Dwight's good for the full season. I'm not so sure that Sherry is not long for Lucille. I think Sherry will meet Lucille, actually. I think that's affirmative.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it depends on how she plays things out.
No, I think it'll be used to hurt Dwight.
Yeah.
Because that's what Negan does. He doesn't attack you. He attacks people that you love.
Yeah.
And that's what hurts you.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, I mean, that's
obviously still. There's obviously still feelings there with Dwight and Sherry.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's how he's going to take her out with Ed. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's how he broke Rick. I mean, ultimately he, was threatening to, with Carl,
Right.
it wasn't so much, threatening everybody else around the group. I mean, that certainly helped motivate him. But the fact that, it's like, okay, your kid's on the chopping block now.
Can't hurt Carl. Carl's seen it all. Carl is the best leader coming out of this. In the future, Carl is President Carl.
Yeah, I mean, he's essentially the John Connor of this universe.
He's got to be, right?
He's going to lead.
Has to be building to him.
Yeah, he's going to lead the uprising against the zombies.
I agree.
Yeah.
Carl's the savior here, and that's why we named the show after him.
That's true. And then Carl's going to invent time travel to make sure that his dad gets back in time to impregnate his mom,
Yeah, well, maybe Negan is impregnating people because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, maybe because wasn't there some tension between Rick and Matt and his wife earlier before the whole thing, the zombie apocalypse?
With Rick and Laura?
Yeah, I thought there was some because when they got back together, there was some.
Well, like she banged Shane.
Well, before that, even before the apocalypse, I thought there was some tension before there. I don't know if maybe she had cheated on him once before. Who knows?
I don't know all that background. Tammy Parker said Judith is John Connor. All right, well, Tammy, you're gonna love this. We've already said we're gonna do a live Walking Dead nativity next Halloween. So that's going to happen.
Nice.
We're going to have a little baby Judith in the manger, and we're all going to cosplay up, and we're going to have some walkers in my front yard, and we're going to do it up for Halloween. So that'll be really cool. So we will do that. There will be mass video of that. I want local news coverage.
You know, like the Three Wise Walkers.
Yeah. We can do the Three Wise Men. We could do King Ezekiel, Negan, and the governor.
Oh, yeah, nice.
The Three Wise Men. Yeah.
You can have Rick and Lori over the manger with baby Judith.
Right. We can have
and little Carl.
I got a couple of really, really skinny friends that are going to do walkers for me.
Nice.
And that's how I asked them. I'm like, oh my God, you're so skinny. You guys got to come be walkers. And they're like, oh yeah, man, we're totally going to do that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, this is going to be hellacious. So I have a year to plan it. So it's
nice.
So this, unlike the Walking Dead recap with puppets, which I know Tammy wants us to do more than anything in the world. And I think it would be hysterical. It just, puppets cost a lot of money and we don't have any. So get us a bunch of fans to watch the show and send us money on Patreon, and I'll put on a puppet show for you every week. I just got to be able to get paid to do that. So
yeah.
All right. You got anything else you want to talk about or theorize about?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything this episode. There was like I said, there wasn't a whole lot going on, so I think we covered.
I thought when it was over the first time I watched it, I was like, God, there's no way we're going to be able to talk about this episode for an hour. And then I started writing notes, and I'm like, I have 4 pages of notes on this episode. Like, how did I come up with so much on Dwight?
Yeah.
But that was the point. We got introduced to Dwight and Sherry and a little bit more of Negan, and that's all we need. So I think next weekend it's really going to start ramping up towards at least towards our mid-season cliffhanger, whatever that's going to be this time. Hopefully it'll be a reuniting of Daryl at some point.
Yeah, getting Carol, Morgan and Carol coming back to Alexandria, or them finding them, Rick and them going to the kingdom. Yeah, I mean, there's
we got to find out where Jesus is and all this.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of biblical names flying around right now, and nothing to do with the Bible.
Yeah.
Life is sweet when you are on Easy Street. Just remember that, folks.
Riding the gravy train.
We are riding the gravy train. We are drinking the good champagne. Wow. Great episode. All right. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks to both of you in the chat. We love having you in there. That was so much fun.
Yeah. That's always fun having people talk to us.
Having to not read it at the same time. Maybe like only one of us will be able to look at the chat at one time. But thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Share us with your friends. Tell them to come subscribe. We can only do puppets if we get rich. So we got to get the subscribers up. I wanted 100 before the end of the new year. We have 41 right now. So we need before the new year. So let's make it happen. Tammy says, I believe Morgan will be going back without Carol. Oh, yeah, because Carol's going to start getting the bone from Ezekiel.
She's got her little house now, so she's good.
She's a Sheba mama now. That's right. All right, guys, we're going to go. We'll see you next week. Until then, love many, trust few, and do harm to no one.